We are now going to start our next topic, Stokes theorem. It will be last topic of this module. Stokes theorem relates surface integral to line integral. Theorem says that surface integral of the component of f, component of curl f along the normal to the surface S taken over the surface S bounded by curve C is equal to the line integral of the vector point function f taken along the closed curve C. Mathematically, integral over S curl f dot n cap ds is equals to integral over C f dot dr. Let us understand what theorem exactly says. Theorem says that if we have a surface S which is open bounded by this closed curve C, then surface integral of curl f over this surface S will be equal to line integral of same function f over closed curve C. As I already mentioned, this curve is closed and it is bounding this surface S. Thus, if we are having a curve bounding an open surface S, then the surface integral of this quantity over that surface will be equal to line integral of this function f over that closed curve. Here C is the curve bounding this surface S. Thus, suppose we have this surface of hemisphere, then for this surface the bounding curve will be this curve which is given by this circle. If I have this surface, flat surface covered by this ellipse, then for this surface this curve boundary of this ellipse will be bounding curve. If we have this parallelogram and this is the region bounded by parallelogram, then its boundary will be this curve shown in red color. Theorem says that if we want to evaluate surface integral over the surface, then we can evaluate line integral over the curve which is bounding this surface. Here the direction of normal vector depends upon the orientation of curve C. What it means? It means here this is the curve C. If the direction of curve C is anticlockwise, then for anticlockwise direction the normal vector n will be pointing outward from the board, because the direction of vector n cap, normal vector, will be decided by law of screw. Thus, if screw is rotating anticlockwise, then its tip will move towards this direction which is pointing outward from the board. Similarly, if the direction of this curve is anticlockwise, then moving along this curve the screw will point upward, and therefore the direction will be of n cap will be upward if we are taking anticlockwise direction in this curve C. On the other hand, if I take clockwise direction, then the direction of n cap will reverse. Thus, the direction of this vector n cap will be decided by the orientation of this curve C. Now we take example. Through this example we shall verify Stokes theorem. Example says, verify Stokes theorem for a vector field f defined by f equals to x square minus y square I cap plus 2xy j cap in rectangular region in xy plane bounded by the lines x equal to 0, x equal to a, y equal to 0 and y equal to b. We want to verify Stokes theorem for this function and the region bounded by this rectangle in xy plane. By Stokes theorem, we know that integral over C f dot dr must be equal to surface integral over surface S del cross f dot n cap ds. Now here this function f is given in problem. This curve C and this surface S are to be decided from the given information. As we are already told that we have to verify Stokes theorem for the rectangular region in xy plane bounded by these lines. These lines x equal to 0, x equal to a, y equal to 0 and y equal to b. These lines are forming this rectangle. So the region enclosed by this rectangle will be our region S, and this boundary which is mentioned here, boundary of this rectangle will be the curve C. So I shall evaluate this integral over C f dot dr, integral occurring in left hand side for this rectangular boundary, and this surface integral for this surface bounded by this rectangle, and these two quantities must be equal to verify Stokes theorem. Now we first calculate this integral over C f dot dr. Here f is given to be x square minus y square I cap plus 2xy j cap. We remember that vector r was x I cap plus y j cap if we are working in xy plane, because that component is 0. So dr will be dx I cap plus dy j cap. Taking dot product of these two quantities, terms of I will be written together, terms of j cap will be written together, and I shall obtain x square minus y square dx plus 2xy dy. Now f dot dr is calculated. This integral over C f dot dr to be calculated over this whole rectangle. Here we can observe that this rectangle consists of 4 parts, and in mathematical terms it consists of 4 different equations. This equation y equal to 0, this part has equation x equal to a, this part has equation y equal to b, and this is y axis has equation x equal to 0. Because rectangle consists of 4 parts, therefore to evaluate this line integral by direct method, we need to break the integral according to parts in this curve C. So I have written integral over C f dot dr is equal to integral over OA f dot dr plus integral over AB f dot dr plus integral over BC f dot dr plus integral over this curve CO f dot dr. Each of these integrals will be calculated. Substituting the values of each of these line integrals here, I shall obtain the value of integral over C f dot dr. Now rf dot dr is written again here for reference. This is our curve C, which is rectangle. This OA is part of x-axis and its equation is y equal to 0. Therefore, along OA y will be 0. It will give dy equal to 0. So, this f dot dr, this y and dy become 0 and we are left with this x square dx. So, integral over OA f dot dr becomes x square dx. Because this term is now in terms of x, so I need to apply the limits of x. For this part OA, at this point value of x is 0 because it is origin. The coordinates of point A are a comma 0. So, x varies from 0 to a, and applying these limits, this integral becomes x cube upon 3. Applying limits 0 to a, the value comes out to be a cube upon 3. Now, along AB, x equals to a, because equation of AB is x equal to a. It gives dx equal to 0. Putting x equal to a and dx equal to 0 in this expression, this term will disappear because it will be 0. Substituting x equal to a, I will obtain f dot dr as 2ay dy. Now, this is in terms of y, so I am required to apply limits of y. The coordinates of this point are a comma 0. The coordinates of this point are a comma b. So, value of y varies from 0 to b, and these limits are applied for y. Integrating it gives ay square, and applying these limits it becomes ab square, which is the value of integral along AB. Now, we shall move towards third integral. Third line is line BC. The equation of BC is y equal to b. So, y equal to b gives dy equal to 0. Substituting y equal to b, dy equal to 0, this term will be 0 and this x square minus y square gives x square minus b square. Because integral is in terms of x now, so we are required to apply limits of x. Along this line BC, x is equal to a at this point b, and the coordinates of this point are 0 comma b, because this point is lying on y axis. So, values of x vary from a to 0, and applying those limits I obtain x cube upon 3 minus b square x. Applying these limits I calculate and I obtain the value as minus a cube over 3 plus b square a, and it is the value of this integral, which is integral along this line BC. Now, we move towards last part of our curve, and the curve is CO. Along this CO, we have x equal to 0. X equal to 0 means dx equal to 0. So, substituting x equal to 0, this term will disappear. Substituting dx equal to 0, this term will again disappear, and so the integral will be nothing but 0. Thus, the value of each of the line integrals along 4 parts of the curve is calculated. Because our integral was sum of all of these integrals, and substituting the values of the integrals so obtained, I calculate integral over c f dot dr is equals to a cube by 3 plus ab square minus a cube by 3 plus ab square plus 0, and it will be twice of ab square. The integral on left hand side, integral over c f dot dr, is calculated. Now, to verify Stokes theorem, we need to calculate another side, that is del cross f dot n cap ds. And therefore, we shall now evaluate this surface integral del cross f dot n cap ds. For this, f is given. I shall first calculate this del cross f by the formula of curl. Then this vector n cap will be calculated. After that, this ds will be calculated as we have learnt during surface integral, and then substituting these values here, we will evaluate this surface integral. The del cross f will be calculated by the formula of curl. We recall that the value of f was x square minus y square I cap plus 2 xy j cap. So, taking curl, del cross f will be I cap, j cap, k cap in first row, del over del x, del over del y, del over del z in second row, x square minus y square, 2xy and 0 in third row. This determinant will be evaluated. I cap times del over del y of 0 will be 0, del over del z of this 2xy will be 0. So, term of y will be 0, minus j cap, del over del x of 0 will be 0, del over del z of this will again be 0. So, there will be no term of j cap. Third term k cap will be written, del over del x of 2xy will be 2y here, minus del over del y of this term. So, minus of minus 2y will give plus 2y, and it is the value of del cross f which is 4y k cap. Now, to evaluate surface integral, I need to calculate n cap. As we have already discussed that n cap is the normal vector to the given surface. Here, the surface is the flat surface of this rectangle. This rectangle lies completely in xy plane. It means the normal vector to the surface will be the normal vector to the xy plane. Now, the normal direction to the xy plane is direction of z, means the normal vector to this surface will be in direction of z axis, and direction of z axis there can be two vectors, one is vector k cap and another is vector minus of k cap, if I change the direction to opposite direction. Now, among these two vectors, I have to choose suitable vector according to orientation of this curve C, because this curve is mentioned in anti-clockwise direction. I have taken C to be anti-clockwise as our earlier convention. So, when I shall consider this xy plane and move anti-clockwise direction or follow the rule of screw, then as I rotate the screw in anti-clockwise direction, then tip of a screw will point towards out of the port, and clearly it will be the direction of positive z axis. It means the vector in direction of positive z axis will be r vector n cap, and therefore this vector k cap will work, positive k cap, and minus k cap will be discarded. Thus, the unit vector normal to the surface S in outward direction is n cap, which will be vector k cap. Now, this del cross f is calculated. We have seen n cap is equal to k cap. So, this expression will be now written, because ds was dx dy upon mod n dot k cap. This n cap is nothing but k cap. So, this quantity n cap dot k cap will be 1 and ds will become dx dy. So, this del cross f was 4y k cap. This n cap is vector k cap and ds becomes dx dy. So, this integral reduces to 4y dx dy. Now, we need to apply limits of x and y for this integral. To find limits of x and y, we first decide what is the region with the help of which we are going to calculate limits. As we have seen earlier, to find the region, we take the projection of this S on xy plane. Here, this surface is the surface of this rectangular region and this is lying already in xy plane. Because it is lying completely in xy plane, so its projection on xy plane will be nothing but the same rectangle itself, and therefore this rectangle will be used to find limits of x and y for this double integral. Now, for this rectangular region, y varies from 0 to b, dividing the region into vertical slices. X varies from 0 to a, and therefore this integral 4y dx dy is written as x from 0 to a, y from 0 to b, 4y dy dx. Because y is occurring inside, so we will evaluate the integral with respect to y first. Integrating 4y, I obtain twice y square. Applying the limits, it becomes 2b square minus 0, that is 2b square. This 2b square is constant. I am left with x from 0 to a, and simplification gives twice ab square. Thus, integral over s del cross f dot n cap ds is twice ab square. The value of integral over cf dot dr we have calculated in previous slides was also this 2ab square, means these two values are equal, hence Stokes theorem is verified. Now, let me sum up what happened once again. We were supposed to verify Stokes theorem for this function over given rectangle. First of all, I need to calculate this integral over cf dot dr by usual process of line integral. Then I need to calculate this surface integral. If value of these two are equal, then theorem will be verified. Here, this C is the boundary of rectangle, which consists of 4 parts. Therefore, I have broken the line integral into 4 parts. Each of these separate integrals was calculated, and adding up all those integrals, I obtain the value of the line integral over cf dot dr as twice ab square. Now, to evaluate del cross f dot n cap ds, I first calculate this del cross f, then n cap, and then ds is replaced by dx dy. Because f is given, there is no difficulty in finding curl f, that is del cross f. Then I decided what is the surface bounding this curve. The flat surface of rectangle was in xy plane, so its normal vector will become vector n cap, and it will be nothing but k cap or minus k cap. Due to orientation of this curve, n cap will be plus k cap. So, this del cross f dot n cap ds was converted to this form because ds is this expression, and so I obtained this double integral. Evaluating this double integral over the same rectangle, because projection will be same as the surface, I obtain again 2b square, hence our Stokes theorem is verified. Now we take one more example. In next example, we will evaluate this integral over C f dot dr, this line integral, where f is this function and C is a given curve. Example says evaluate integral over C f dot dr, where f equals 2x minus y I cap minus yz square j cap minus y square z k cap, and C is the unit circle in xy plane bounding the hemisphere this. This integral over C f dot dr is to be calculated, and we shall use Stokes theorem to calculate this line integral. By Stokes theorem, we can write integral over C f dot dr is equal to integral over S del cross f dot n cap ds. So, because I am going to apply Stokes theorem and this integral over C f dot dr is required, so I shall calculate another side, that is this del cross f dot n cap ds. F is specified in the problem, and therefore it is not difficult for us to calculate del cross f. Del cross f can be calculated by the formula of curl of f, I cap, j cap, k cap in first row, del over del x, del over del y, del over del z in second row. Coefficients of I cap, j cap, k cap will be written in third row. So, this 2x minus y is written here, minus yz square is written here, and minus y square z is written in third term. Now, we shall evaluate this determinant I cap times del over del y of this term, z will be constant, and so it will be minus 2yz, minus del over del z of this, it will be plus 2yz, minus j cap del over del z will be del over del x of this will be 0, del over del z of this will be 0, plus k cap del over del x of this will be 0, del over del y of this will be 1, and it is the value of del cross f. These two terms cancels out and I got simply k cap. The del cross f is a simple expression which is nothing but k cap. Now, we need to calculate n cap. Here the surface is this surface of hemisphere. We want to find normal vector for this surface, because this hemispherical surface is not lying entirely in xy plane. So, we cannot directly find n cap in this case, and as we have learnt earlier, to find normal vector of a surface we can use gradient of phi. So, we shall use gradient of phi here. For this hemisphere, the equation of surface is x square plus y square plus z square equal to 1, because this is part of this sphere. Normal vector n cap is given by gradient of phi upon mod of gradient phi, because grad phi is normal vector, and to find unit vector I need to divide a vector by its modulus. To find phi, this surface will be used, and this value x square plus y square plus z square minus 1 can be taken as phi. If I take simply x square plus y square plus z square, then it will mean same thing. Del over del x of this x square gives 2x, so it becomes 2x I cap. Del over del y of this y square becomes 2y j cap. Del over del z of this becomes 2z k cap. Mod of del phi will be 2 x whole square, that is 4x square, plus 2y whole square, that is 4y square, plus 4z square whole square root by the formula of modulus of a vector. Now this 4 will be taken common from here and it will be cancelled out from this 2. So in numerator it will be xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap upon root of x square plus y square plus z square. Because we are working on this surface, n cap is normal vector to this surface. Therefore, on this surface x square plus y square plus z square equals to 1 can be used, and that is why this term in denominator disappears and I am left with xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, which is normal vector to this surface S. Del cross F was k cap. This normal vector n cap is xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So del cross F dot n cap will become simply z, because this k dot k cap will be 1 and remaining term will be 0. Now del cross F dot n cap is calculated. I shall now calculate ds, because ds is equal to dx dy upon mod n dot k cap. This n cap was this expression and n dot k cap will be nothing but z, and therefore ds will be dx dy upon z. Substituting this value del cross F dot n and ds, this del cross F dot n ds becomes this z and this z are cancelled out, and this del cross F dot n ds can be written as simply dx dy. Therefore, now we want to evaluate this integral del cross F dot n ds, which is nothing but dx dy. Now to evaluate this double integral, I need to calculate the limits or region for which the double integral is to be calculated. This is our surface of hemisphere. As we have seen that its projection or shadow on xy plane will be working as region over which limits of x and y will be calculated. So this del cross F dot n ds, which was transformed to dx dy, will be calculated over region R, where R is the projection of S on xy plane. This is RS. The projection of sphere or hemisphere on xy plane is nothing but a circle, because the radius of hemisphere is unit 1, so it will be a unit circle, and therefore this double integral will be evaluated over this unit circle, because the function occurring inside double integral is 1, so its value will be nothing but area of the circle, and it can be written directly by the formula pi r square. Here radius is 1, so integral over Cf dot dr is nothing but simply pi. Let me sum up once again. I want to evaluate this integral over Cf dot dr with the help of Stokes theorem. For this, I calculated del cross F first. Its value came out to be k cap. Then this n cap is required. This n cap was calculated using gradient of phi. This value was the value of n cap. Then this del cross F dot n cap was calculated. Then we have calculated ds, so that this del cross F dot n ds became simply dx dy, and simplification leads simply dx dy. Now this was our surface. Its projection or shadow on xy plane will be used to find limits of double integral, because this double integral is having 1 as an integrand, so its value will be area of this region R, and it means it is the area of unit circle, and the value of integral is simply pi. With this example, we have finished our last topic, Stokes theorem. With this topic, this module vector calculus is over now. These are references which I have consulted from net. The books we have already discussed, and thank you.